Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we're continuing our ongoing coverage of the war between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. And today, I want to specifically talk about the sinking of the Russian missile corvette, the Ivanovets, this ship here. So how did the Russians lose this small missile boat? I wouldn't classify it as a warship. I'd classify it as a missile boat. Well, a Ukrainian surface drone attacked this ship, and there were multiple of these small speedboat-like drones launched from Ukrainian territory that intercepted and then sank the ship you see here. So why could not this ship defend itself against these very small surface drones? Now, what's interesting is that in the military analyst circles, these analysts are proclaiming that even the United States would have had trouble with these surface-type drones. And I got to tell you, that's a big-time mistake. The U.S. would have been able to destroy these incoming surface drones. Absolute fact. Now, part of this, or a large part of this, is Russian doctrine. The Ivanovets has one mission. One mission. It is designed to go out, find, and sink enemy warships. Can it patrol coastal waters? Yes, it can. But in the year 2024, this ship that was designed in the 70s, early 80s, does not have the capability to defend itself against these small surface drones. Yes, with its, what is the main surface launched weapon system on this? It fires either the P-15 or the P-270 musket. Surface-to-surface anti-ship missile. Again, designed to hit a very large target. This system is not designed to go after a 16-foot drone that sits very, very low on the water. Even the other systems, the weapon systems on this craft, are not designed to do that. It has the AK-630 close-in 30mm weapon system here. And then it also operates its AK-176 millimeter cannon, which is here. So 76 millimeter cannon, the anti-ship missiles, which again are not designed to go after the boats, and then finally the 30 millimeter close support cannon, which is really designed to try and engage cruise missiles that could be fired at this. Now, I believe this is not a very effective system. Throughout history, there have been multiple engagements in which these systems have failed to defend itself against cruise missiles. So we know that this ship was trying to engage those drone attack boats with its 30 millimeter gun. And quite possibly sailors on the actual vessel were trying to engage it with small arms as well. Not going to work. Didn't work. They were able to eventually penetrate those defenses, and those defenses are seriously lacking. Now, one of the most important features that could have helped defend this vessel is not present, and I'm going to show you what that is. I'm going to go over to a U.S. patrol boat designed for a patrol-type mission. It's not a surface warfare vessel. But all vessels on the U.S. Navy have these systems, which could have protected this vessel that was sunk. Let's go over to the USS Hurricane. Now, these boats have been decommissioned. The U.S. no longer uses them. But at the same time, I wanted to show you, the viewer, the systems that this vessel has and other like vessels the U.S. operates that could have defended itself against those small surface attack drones. So here we go. And this is very important. Right here. This is an electro-optical FLIR, forward-looking infrared. This system, once they knew they were under attack, would have been able to spot those vessels and auto-track those small attack drones. And there's just not one on these. There's multiple. The 25mm cannon on the front of the vessel, here. Okay? Electro-optical, forward-looking infrared with auto-track. This is also a stabilized gun platform that would have been able to engage those surface drones, those surface attack drones, in the rear of the vessel. Right here. Again, a third forward-looking infrared. Now, most importantly, these guns, if those surface attack drones were attacking this vessel, would not to have even been deployed. And I'll show you why next. The Griffin. Think of it as like a miniature Hellfire missile that can reach out beyond 5 miles. I believe it has a range of about 12 kilometers. Those forward-looking infrared systems here, in conjunction with the targeting radar, would have been able to sink those drones. It would have been a point-and-click operation. They would auto-track, they would box the surface attack drone, and then they would launch these Griffins. In one shot, one kill. And that's why these drones would not have been able to sink this vessel or even larger U.S. warships that can be equipped with these Griffin missiles. Ships are now using vertical launched Hellfire too with the wave millimeter radars. Again, same premise, same capability. There are other systems on board the larger U.S. vessels that have dual mission capabilities in terms of engaging fast-moving, drone-like surface attack vessels. This vessel here has nothing like that to defend itself. And you can look very closely. There is no forward-looking infrared on this ship at all. The 76 millimeter maybe have that capability, but outside of that, no capability. That would have saved this ship, or a Griffin-like missile. Now, obviously, the Russians don't have the Griffin. Will they have a Griffin-like missile after this conflict with Ukraine? Possibly. But they don't have it now. Furthermore, the U.S. has the ability to launch helicopters and fire scouts. These are helicopter-like drones. These systems can also engage surface threats, small drone-like surface threats as well. Capability is not present. And this is a doctrine issue. This is how the Russians tend to operate. They create a weapon system, such as this vessel, and it's purpose-driven. It has one mission, and that one mission is to go out and sink other enemy warships. That's all it does. And unfortunately, this ship became a victim of its lack of multi-mission capability. Just speaking the hard truth here for the Russians. Will it happen again? Quite possibly. It is very difficult for these Russian vessels to operate near the Crimean Peninsula. Very difficult. Because you're dealing with a Ukrainian military that has sea denial capability. Look, the Ukrainians don't have sea control capability. They can't gain control of the Black Sea. The Russians have control of the Black Sea in terms of Ukraine versus Russia. But the Ukrainians have sea denial capability. They have the ability to engage and destroy Russian vessels close to Ukrainian waters. The Russians have sea denial capabilities as well, close to Russian waters. But the Russians are trying to maintain sea control, and it's much easier if you are Ukraine to utilize sea denial capabilities. So you hear about this small Ukrainian navy sinking X amount of Russian vessels, as if the Ukrainian navy is going out and sinking these Russian ships. It's not the case. Again, sea denial capability versus sea control capability. There's a big difference. The Russians have sea control and they have sea denial. The Ukrainians only have sea denial. And they're doing it very effectively. Very effectively. So do the Russians have sea control near Odessa, west of Crimea? No, they don't. Very difficult for the Russians to operate in those areas, with the exception of its subsurface fleet. So I wanted to talk about that. We wanted to have a look at what exactly happened, how it happened, why it happened, and how the Russians could actually fix this problem. Doctrine problem. Older ship, not equipped for multi-mission capability. Have a good day.